Ezekiel Carter lived where the woods thickened and the road forgot itself. Pine Ridge was not a place you passed through, it was a place you ended up when you needed silence. His cabin leaned like an old man thinking too much, smoke curling softly from its chimney. Ezekiel was a hunter, but not the loud kind. He hunted to eat, not to boast. That night, the moon was swollen and red. And something knocked. The knock was slow. Heavy. Not wood on wood, but bone on wood. Ezekiel froze, hand tightening around his lantern. "Who's there?" he called, though no man ever answered a door like that. The knocking came again. Then a low, trembling sound, pain wrapped in breath. When Ezekiel cracked the door open, the forest stared back. Two golden eyes burned through the night. A leopard stood on his porch, massive, spotted, breathing hard. Her sides heaved. Blood darkened her hind legs. She did not snarl. She bowed her head. Ezekiel slammed the door shut and staggered back. "Lord Jesus," he whispered. "This ain't my portion." His heart beat against his ribs like it wanted out. Then came a sound that changed everything. A cry. Small. New. Ezekiel dropped to his knees. "My grandmama used to say," he muttered, "when nature asks, you answer, or it remembers." He stood. Hands shaking, he opened the door wide. The leopard stepped inside slowly, like she understood this was sacred ground. She lay beside the hearth. Her eyes never left Ezekiel's face. Not as a threat. As a question. Hours passed. The fire crackled. Ezekiel fetched water, cloth, and whispered words his mother taught him when pain came knocking. The leopard groaned. Then. Life. One cub. Then another. Then a third. Tiny, spotted miracles slick with birth and breath. Ezekiel wept without knowing why. At dawn, the leopard rose. She licked her cubs clean. Before leaving, she turned. Her golden eyes met Ezekiel's. She bowed. Then vanished into the woods. Ezekiel told no one. Some truths rot when spoken aloud. Life went on. Years passed. Ezekiel's hair silvered. His steps slowed. But the woods still knew his name. He hunted less. Listened more. One afternoon, deep in unfamiliar brush, Ezekiel felt it. Silence. Too quiet. Then the growl. 3 lions stepped from the shadows. Muscles tight. Eyes hungry. Ezekiel dropped his rifle. He was tired. "Lord," he said softly, "I lived honest." The lions lunged. Then stopped. A roar tore through the trees. Not a lion's. Something sharper. Faster. She leapt from the canopy like thunder. Bigger now. Scarred. Power carved into muscle. Her roar split the forest. She attacked without mercy. The lions fled, tails tucked, fear finally learning respect. The leopard turned. Her eyes locked on Ezekiel. He whispered, "It's you." She approached slowly. Sniffed his hands. She pressed her head against his chest. Once. Then twice. A thank you no human tongue could form. From the trees, 3 grown leopards watched. The children born by firelight. Ezekiel understood. Kindness is not forgotten. Not by the earth. Not by blood. The leopards escorted him to the forest edge. Then disappeared. Strange things followed. Hunters spoke of lions avoiding Pine Ridge. Of shadows guarding the old man. Ezekiel told the story to children who asked, not to adults who doubted. "Help when help knocks," he said. Even if it got teeth. Ezekiel died quietly. No struggle. No fear. That night, the forest roared. Not in anger. In mourning. Leopard tracks circled his grave for days. No predator crossed them. Travelers still say Pine Ridge feels watched. Protected. What you do for the helpless becomes your shield later. The door always opens twice. Once for you. Once for your future. And deep in the woods, when the moon turns red, a leopard's cry still carries Ezekiel's name. The morning sun spread a soft gold across the bustling streets of Lagos. Amara hurried toward the bus stop, clutching a stack of documents to her chest. She had overslept again, and this job interview meant everything. Just as she reached the curb, a sudden gust of wind blew her papers into the air. Ah! No, no, please, she cried, jumping after the flying sheets. A tall young man in a crisp white shirt rushed to help her, catching several sheets mid-air. Hold on, I've got these, he said with a warm smile. Amara froze for a moment. The man had gentle brown eyes and a calm presence that made her heartbeat shift. Thank you, she breathed. No problem. I'm Daniel, he replied. Amara. Their eyes met again, lingering a second too long for strangers. Something soft, something unspoken passed between them. The bus arrived, and as they both stepped in and sat beside each other, their conversation flowed like they'd known each other for years. By the time Amara reached her interview location, she realized she hadn't stopped smiling. Amara did not get the job, but somehow, the disappointment felt lighter because she couldn't stop thinking about Daniel. Later that evening, her phone buzzed. Daniel, I hope your interview went well. Can we talk? Her heart fluttered. She called him immediately. I didn't get the job, she said softly. That's okay, he reassured her. Sometimes the road bends before it leads to something better. Can I take you out for lunch tomorrow? She hesitated, but excitement won. I'd like that, she said. The next day, they met at a quiet cafe by the waterfront. They laughed, shared stories, teased each other, and even argued playfully about who made the best jollof rice in Nigeria. At one point, Daniel reached for her hand without thinking. Amara didn't pull away. Something warm was growing between them, gentle, tender, and unexpected. 3 months later, their bond was strong, but cracks began to show. Daniel started missing dates. He avoided certain questions. He seemed distracted, lost in thought. One evening, as they sat on a bench by the lagoon, Amara finally asked. Daniel, what's going on? Are you tired of me? He shook his head quickly. No, Amara. Never that. It's just, my mom is sick. I've been trying to manage everything alone. Her expression softened instantly. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't want to bother you with my problems. She moved closer, taking his hand firmly. Love is sharing both the sunshine and the storm. For the first time in weeks, Daniel let out a deep breath and leaned on her shoulder. Amara became his greatest support, visiting his mother with him, cooking meals, encouraging him, praying for him. His mother, Mama Grace, a warm woman with a playful spirit, took to Amara immediately. One afternoon, Mama Grace held Amara's hand and whispered. My son has been through a lot. You are the peace his heart needed. When Daniel heard that, something in him shifted. Later that night, he stood with Amara by the balcony overlooking the city lights. I was afraid of loving someone too much, he confessed. But you showed me love doesn't weaken a man, it strengthens him. Amara smiled, tears filling her eyes. And you've healed places of me I didn't even know were broken. Their lips met in a slow, tender kiss, the kind that felt like a promise. 3 months later, Mama Grace fully recovered. Joy returned to Daniel's life, and his relationship with Amara grew deeper, brighter. One quiet sunset, Daniel invited Amara back to the cafe where they had their first lunch. When they arrived, the place was decorated with soft lanterns and rose petals. "Daniel, what is all this?" she whispered, breathless. He got down on one knee. "Amara," he began, voice shaking, "you walked into my life on a windy morning and rearranged my entire world. You've stood by me through storms and sunshine. Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down her cheeks. "Yes," she whispered. "1,000 times, yes."